We are so incredibly excited to welcome everyone to the launch of Swim Seattle. Behind me here are partners and folks that have aligned with, and I guess I should introduce myself first. My name is Chezik Tsunoda, and I'm the founder of No More Under. And we all up here believe that swimming should be a right and not a privilege. And so I'm incredibly beyond excited. Unfortunately, I've come to this work due to a personal tragedy, and it is my mission personally that no one else has to experience anything like this. So we have been working and now are joined by these powerful folks to actually make a huge difference in our community. So without further ado, we have a lot of speakers. I'm going to introduce, with excitement, our new Superintendent of Parks and Rec, AP Diaz.
I'm going to introduce you first. Is that okay? Yeah. Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being out here. My name's AP Diaz, the Superintendent of Parks and Recreation for the City of Seattle. I'm going to offer a few remarks in just a moment, but it's my honor and pleasure to bring to the stage right now the champion of this program, and he's going to talk about why he believes in this program, why he's backed us up as a department in a city to launch it today with the community and our partners. So without further adu, I want to introduce the Mayor of Seattle, Bruce Harrell.
Thanks, AP. I'll take that champion title because I got a champion, hopefully a championship team. I'm branding a little bit, but in all seriousness, the champions are here in the audience and standing by my side, and that is true. And when you talk about Chezik's passion for doing this kind of work that we're going to talk about, that's a champion that takes what undoubtedly is pain and a lifetime experience that any parent should not have to go through and then convert it to saving others. That's a champion. And so as we talk about this kind of work, I'm going to introduce it, and I want to first recognize we are in District 2, and we have Councilmember Tammy Morales standing here with us. Thank you, Councilmember Morales, and it's very appropriate that we have this announcement here in District 2, which is one of the most diverse areas, certainly the most diverse area in the city, but one of the most diverse areas in the country. So we're coming together as a community on behalf of water safety. We have a very ambitious goal, an achievable goal, and that is in the Seattle area, we want every child, by the time they reach 10 years old, to be able to swim. We realize that through mentorship, education, job safety, and recreation, we have to do better for our youth, for our children. So as mayor, it's my charter responsibility to keep our communities safe, and that's why today I'm announcing Swim Seattle. Yeah. Swim Seattle. Swim Seattle is going to be our effort to make sure that every child and youth can be safe in and around water. Everyone here, I would imagine, has a personal story about how someone's affected who are not comfortable around water, perhaps had a water tragedy. And because this is a happy day, I would like to share with you that sometimes, even in a happy day, we bring some of the pain that we've experienced into the joy we're about to work. So I'm not going to delve a lot into my stories because there could be stories that other speakers may have, but I will say that just generally speaking, this work is very personal, and I'm sure it's personal for a lot of the volunteers that are helping. So when we look at what's happening to our youth, we know that all opportunities are not afforded to all youth equally. This could be with respect to health outcomes or food access or educational outcomes. But looking at the disparity in who drowns the most, who is harmed most through water tragedies, we can do something about this. We can be very intentional about this. This is why our partners, I'll talk about the YMCA in a minute. I want to save that story, but our King County, our health department, our Washington State Parks, Seattle Children's Hospital, all of the volunteers, and certainly Chezik's organization, No More Under, that we can do something about this. This is very achievable for us. The reason I said I'll save the YMCA, and you'll hear from Loria, Yeadon, the CEO, in a minute, is that's where I learned how to swim. This morning, I asked people, well, how did you learn how to swim? Those that knew how to swim. And in every situation, it was a parent or a grown-up that taught them as a child. I was lucky that I lived across the street from the Meredith Matthew YMCA, and I was taught there, and then they would bus us down to your headquarters, downtown YMCA, and I would learn there. And not only was it fun, not only was it unifying, but I realized that as an adult, I started to like water activities, pleasant experiences. And fortunately, there have been situations where I've saw someone that looked a little in stress in water, and I was confident enough to help that person as well. So we're actually creating not only people that are proficient in swimming, we're creating potential lifeguards. So Swim Seattle will rely on the continued and dedicated action from other partner agencies. Many of them have been leading in this work, and now we want to pull these efforts together. And that's why I'm really excited to hear from some of my co-speakers. Only through on-the-ground community partnerships, quite frankly, can we get this right as a city. We're looking at our collective assets, our swimming pools, our volunteers, our philanthropic communities. How can we get this right? Within the last couple of days, within the last 2 days, I've talked to mayors from across this country. Mayor Bass in Los Angeles, Mayor Adams in New York, Mayor Lightfoot in Chicago, Mayor Turner in Houston, and I share with them ideas on what we're trying to do here in Seattle. And if we do this right here in Seattle, perhaps our country will take notice that our children matter so much. And we could do those things that are readily achievable, such as Swim Seattle. So again, it will be our hope and prayer and our commitment and our resources behind making sure every kid, every child by the age they're 10 knows how to swim and knows how to help others that could be in a stressful situation. So with that, I'm not sure who I'm introducing next. I think it's Loria. Am I doing it right? Who's my boss? Where's my boss? My boss says yes. Okay. I'd like to introduce Loria. Who've ever worked with Loria know, number one, not only is she created incredibly talented, but incredibly committed to our youth. So I present the CEO of the YMCA, Loria Yeadon.
Thank you, Mayor Harrell, and AP, who called me months ago, and we said, let's do it. And there's no better time than right now. Good morning, everyone. The Y is so proud to be a part of this collaboration, Swim Seattle, a collaboration where the mission is very close to our hearts, and mine too. This is personal for me too. The mission being water safety. We all know that the water can be a lot of fun. Swimming, boating, other water activities that bring us so much joy, especially during those hot summer days, which are rapidly approaching. But we all know these days can quickly turn into disaster when our youth and families have not had the proper instruction and training. Everybody deserves the proper instruction and training. Everybody deserves to be safe and have fun in the water. This is why the YMCA of Greater Seattle has made it a key part of our mission to make water activities not only fun, but safe. Unfortunately, and many of us have lived this, and I have too, Mayor Harrell, there are many barriers that prevent children, especially BIPOC children, children who are low income, from accessing swim lessons. Financial costs, lack of transportation, cultural barriers, and systemic inequities. All those things have historically prevented a large swath of our kids from accessing swimming pools and beaches. And this makes it difficult for families to prioritize swim lessons for their children. That's why we are so grateful to be a part of this collaboration, Swim Seattle, that recognizes that in order to address those barriers, we must do this as a collective. We must do this together. We're so fortunate to have generous partners like United Healthcare, which has already raised its hand to say that we're going to walk alongside of you in this initiative. We need organizations like United Healthcare. We need more of you that sees this initiative as a crucial step in creating opportunities for all of our youth. Our collaborative efforts with partners, with sponsors, with donors will continue to make a huge difference in the lives of all of our children in our community. Yes, there's a lot to do. There's a lot more work that we have to do. But for every worthwhile journey, there is a first step. This is our first step together. And we believe that knowing that drowning is preventable, we believe that when we walk together in this work, we can prevent drowning through our collective efforts. So here's to all of us taking the first step together towards water safety for all, especially for those who need us the most. Thank you all.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tony.
I'm Tony Gomez, and I manage your violence and injury prevention work at Public Health Seattle and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. County. I'm also one of the co-leads of the statewide Drowning Prevention Network. On behalf of Public Health and the Drowning Prevention Network, we are happy to be here today to support Swim Seattle, water recreation, and water safety in our region. Thank you, Seattle Parks, Mayor Harrell, No More Under, and the many other partners launching this vital initiative, and for all our past and future work. One of the most profound statements regarding water safety I've heard in my over 40 years in working on drowning prevention, and as the mayor noted earlier, for me it came from a relative of a neurologically devastated family member who said, "Everyone has a story, everyone. So whether it's someone you knew, a friend, family member, or someone who survived a drowning experience, we all have connection to the dangers of drowning, and we can all help prevent drowning and save lives." So part of why we're here, unfortunately last year Seattle had 13 of the 29 preventable drowning deaths, or 45% of all drowning in the county. We've experienced 30 deaths per year over the last 4 years, and we continue to see elevated drowning death in the Seattle-King County area. Therefore, Mayor Bruce Harrell's efforts are hugely important. Overall, the increase in numbers wasn't always the case. As recently as 2014 to 2018, we were seeing 18 tragic deaths and a general downward trend. We were hopeful that that trend would continue, but unfortunately we see what we have. I'm reminded that about a decade ago, we had no child drown in the Seattle-King County area for a 3-year period. So it shows what we can collectively accomplish. Repeated heat waves in recent years, increases in boating and open water swimming, increases in alcohol and drug-involved cases, emergence of the pandemic, budget and personnel constraints that reduce the numbers of lifeguards at beaches and swim lessons overall have contributed to these tragic increases since 2019. Half of drownings happen in summer months, and over half in open water, which includes rivers, lakes, and Puget Sound. We want everyone to have fun in the water, be able to exercise as public health, prevent chronic diseases, cool off during the hot summer months, but numbers show that water safety, water recreation is a critical public health and public safety issue. Water safety is also an important equity issue. Black residents are seriously overrepresented in drowning deaths compared to any other race. And this racial disparity has grown in the last 5 years. In King County, black residents make up about 7% of the population, but comprise 17% of our 2022 drowning deaths. So we need to do more as a region to prevent drowning death, close the racial disparity gap. Swim Seattle aims to do just that by providing free swimming lessons, including a strong safety component, which includes life jackets, to better equip our children. Swim Seattle invests in our children's future and will save lives and money in the long run. So I want to give a shout out to the Seattle Parks and Recreation, particularly towards this effort, the Rainier Beach Pool and Community Center, including Aquatics Manager Carolyn Marshall, who do a fabulous job day in, day out here. Let's give them a big hand. I also want to thank members of our statewide drowning prevention network, including Seattle Children's, State Parks, Seattle Parks and Recreation, Washington Park Rec Association, Boating and Marine Safety, and more recently Harborview and Splash Forward. All our members are working hard to promote water safety, life jacket use, swim lessons, providing life jackets and life jacket loaner boards, and passing legislation such as the Water Safety Bill Chezik Tsunoda and her family so bravely championed that will be signed by the governor this coming week. We are inspired by all. Our collective efforts have been well informed by the cutting-edge research and local, national, and international leadership of Dr. Linda Kwan of Seattle Children's and Tizzy Bennett, formerly of Seattle Children's, and the staff that now support this work, including Isabel Sakamoto. These comprehensive efforts to support swim lessons, lifeguard training, pay for lifeguards, other drowning prevention work are some of the most cost-effective uses of resources there are. It's arguable that these are some of the least expensive components of our healthcare system. Preventing each drowning can save hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions, not to mention the tragic loss for our whole community and for families. Our Pacific Northwest is famous for its natural beauty, outdoor opportunity, the abundant water around us, but it takes every one of us to ensure swim safety so we can enjoy the opportunities our region has to offer. Public Health Seattle and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. County is proud to support Mayor Bruce Harrell's Swim Seattle initiative and our host of partners gathered here today. Everyone has a drowning story. However, let's bring that down to zero. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much to all of our amazing speakers here today. I also want to acknowledge the Board of Recreation and Parks Commissioners who are standing here with me today. Deputy Mayor Audium Emery is here, and we also have our ARC Associated Recreation Council partners here today. But before I end remarks here today and we close out, I want to thank all of our employees in the room that work for Seattle Park and Recreation, as well as our aquatics team and our ARC employees. These are the individuals who are going to be taking care of our kids and teaching them how to swim. These are the individuals who are taking care of our kids every single day. And I want to acknowledge all of you in the room today and thank you for making our department stronger. I just want to close my remarks on behalf of the Seattle Parks Department by thanking the mayor again. This is a little bit of a full circle moment. I'm here for a boy named Steven, who was my cousin. And when the mayor announced me as his selection to be superintendent for parks, on that very day, we were on our way to a meeting in a car, and he was asking me some of my goals and objectives, and I was asking him where he wanted me to focus in on the department. And we talked about this idea, and he immediately lit up. He immediately understood the import of what I was dreaming about here for Seattle, what I was thinking about, and then he equipped me with the tools to do that. And it's been amazing. Here we are launching this program with these amazing partners in this specific community for a reason. I cannot be a superintendent for Parks and Recreation and not take care of our kids and our adults and our seniors and give them the tools they need to succeed. Imagine if we were to give a car to families of color and tell them, well, the brakes may or may not work. You may not have access to gasoline. You may not be able to charge in that car, but get out there on the highway and good luck. We hope you do well. Imagine doctors going into a hospital and saying, well, we don't know if there's going to be plasma and blood in the refrigerators today, but if you get into an emergency situation, good luck, doctors. We hope you do well. We can't treat our children like that, and we will not treat our children like that. And that's what this program is about. So I'm super excited to be here, to work with the community. Please, there's information here in this room. You can come to our website for members of the public to learn more about how you can get kids enrolled. And we're just at the beginning. We're encouraging everyone to join us in this effort, to be a sponsor, to be a financial contributor, to be a thought partner, and to step up for our community. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and privilege to stand with these amazing people today, so thank you.
I think I'm just coming back up here to wrap up. I too just want to say thank you because we have been doing this work, a lot of the partners that are up here, but having the ability, the vision to bring everyone together and for you, Mayor, to amplify it is huge. This is about awareness, right? People don't know the statistics, people don't know and understand how it does impact your life, whether it is a death, a neurological issue, or just fear, right? So I'm so excited for this program. I'm grateful to be joined with all of these folks, and I just hope that everyone here today can amplify this issue as well and talk about it. It's incredibly important with water safety. There's lots of activities going on. There's free life jackets. Hi, Alyssa. So yes, thank you everyone for being here, and thank you again, everyone, for joining in this mission for Swim Seattle.